live and pre-recorded. This is the Red Ticket Blues podcast. I am Brian Buckley. This is being recorded on May 6th to hit the internets on May 7th. How's everybody doing? Figured I'd do a quick little podcast here. It won't take up too much of your time. I don't want to bother you. I know you have lots of things to do today. Sitting at your desk, staring at the clock, waiting for the day to end. It's almost Friday. Blah, 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 blah. Normally I do a podcast on Thursday night. Not normally, but sometimes do a podcast on Thursday night. And you get to spend your Friday staring at that clock, waiting, listening to my beautiful voice. But I will be at Yankee Stadium tomorrow night. I'll be in the building to see the New York Yankees take on the Baltimore Orioles. So I figured I would allow you to get my opinion, my takes on the hottest news stories around. And we'll quickly get in just a few topics today. Just a little appetizer, for, well, there is no main dish, but just a little taste, I guess. Let's see. We're going to talk about the Wells Report, how it was released today that Tom Brady... It's actually, let's break down the Wells Report. What exactly is it? What did we learn? There's just subtle hints to possible maybe things happening, perhaps. Very confusing. Lots of people claiming victory or claiming guilt, proclaiming. Why would they proclaim guilt? Accusing others. Just lots of deflection in all sorts of different areas. Depends on who you talk to. Somebody won. Somebody figured something out. I don't know. We'll get into the New York Knicks, but Madison Square Garden welcoming back Mr. Isiah Thomas, the eyesore, the pariah. Is he the pariah of the building? He's not a good person to be in that building. Bad person. Only bad things happen when Isiah Thomas enters Madison Square Garden. No one in that garden, in that building, is better for it. And the other thing I wanted to quickly go on. It's my own show. I don't need to go on it. Speak about is LeSean McCoy's comments. I think he's a little butthurt, but he was traded, obviously, from the Philadelphia Eagles this offseason to the Buffalo Bills, and he had some comments about Chip Kelly that basically insinuating it all dealt with him not liking black people. That's basically what it boiled down to. That's what he said. So I'll give my takes on that, but let's begin with the hottest news of the day. The hottest news was me at Stop and Shop. No, that was not it. What did I do? I had it up. Who gives a shit? Okay, so the Wells Report finally released. They started investigating on January 20th, I believe, and the 243-page, I believe, document comparable to the size of the New Testament was released. I don't think the New Testament's even that long. Keep in mind that the investigation, the private investigation regarding Ray Rice and his violation was about 60 pages. So, man hitting a woman, not a big deal. But let's talk about air released from footballs. That needs some thorough investigation. And what did it say? It didn't really say anything. It said, I'm looking for the words here. Based on the evidence, it also is our view that is Let's try this again. Based on the evidence, it also is our view that it is more probable than not that Tom Brady was at least generally aware of the inappropriate activities of two New England employees involving the release of air from Patriots game balls. I have not read this enormous document. I don't have that much time. Well, I have plenty of time, but I don't want to read it. It's too long. I'll wait. Just give me the gist of it. Like when Bart gets the elephant. I don't have time for the sign. Homer says, just give me the gist of it. And some of the most tantalizing evidence in the Wells Report are the text messages between the two ball boys. One even, deeming himself as the deflator. And basically, it involves them going back and forth, just bullshit you'd normally talk about on a text message with another person. But they're both work for the Patriots, and they're both involved in the deflating of footballs for Tom Brady. And it looks like this was not just a one-time occurrence. This happened several times throughout the year, and it appears is a very strong word in this investigation. It does not say it does. It appears as if Tom Brady is in exchange. Again, these, not to beat a dead horse here, but this is what I'm extrapolating from this, and what many people are. But this does not say exactly this in the Wells report. I don't believe. Again, I haven't read it. Red ticket blues. That Tom Brady, in exchange for having the air released from these footballs to his liking, is giving them, free apparel, free memorabilia, signed things, stuff that these guys can make money off by selling or just looking like hotshots to their friends and family. Now, Tom Brady looks bad here, regardless of what you think. I saw people on Twitter today saying, "Oh, see, they still didn't prove anything. Go Pats Nation." The Patriot fans don't think anything damning came out of this. In a court of public opinion, Tom Brady looks very bad. He looks bad in this. Why these guys would make up this ruse of text messages that they didn't exist, and now all of a sudden it doesn't make any sense. It also, Tom Brady claimed that he did not know the main culprit behind the deflating of the ball. I never met him. When in fact there is memorabilia from Tom Brady to this gentleman, and they obviously have, and there are calls from Tom Brady the day after the Colts inquired with the NFL about this, January 20th, I believe, that there are phone calls. Now, you could say at one point, well, what's wrong with that? He called them and maybe asked them, "What are you guys doing? You're making me look bad." I'll tell you, Tom Brady looks very bad. And court of public opinion, you know what that means? It means, well, I guess it means something. I was going to say it means nothing, but it means something. But when it comes to suspensions, now, you think, you hear everyone speaking, how many games will he be suspended? How many games should he be suspended? Should they take away the Super Bowl? Should they replay the games? I mean, well, obviously the latter is stupid. And if you're predicting that, if you're proposing that, then you need a lot of help. Because they're not going to take away a Super Bowl. This isn't, I don't know what this is. This isn't college. This isn't college sports where they vacate things and you don't exist. Okay. But it's my prediction. I'll tell you this. It may not be a popular opinion right now. I may look stupid at the end. And it's probably not good to make bold predictions like this. But I have a feeling, maybe it's not crazy, maybe you agree with it, Tom Brady will not be suspended one game. I could see the team maybe facing some sort of fine, possibly a loss of a draft pick, but I wouldn't be shocked if none of that happens either. Now, some of you are probably thinking, how could they let them get away with this? This is the second time they've cheated. Have you watched the disciplinary committee involved with the National Football League? They don't have to make sense. This is a league that is so arrogant and so ridiculous. They defy logic with their punishments for players. You really think they were going to give Ray Rice 2 games for hitting his wife? You think that they're going to suspend Tom Brady because he, in the words of the Wells report, it is more than probable that he was at least generally aware of the inappropriate activities? They're going to suspend him for that? I don't think they're going to. And I don't think Tom Brady he's going to have to address it. That should be interesting because Brady's a smug guy. He oozes smug clouds. And maybe if you were Tom Brady, you would too. Handsome guy, millionaire, 4 Super Bowls, everyone loves me, supermodel wife. Hey, it's a great life. Maybe you'd be a little smug too. I mean, not Floyd Mayweather smug, but maybe you'd be Tom Brady. Maybe his is even worse because it's the condescending smug where it's, I'm smarter than you. Remember when Plaxico predicted the score of the Super Bowl in the first Super Bowl against the Patriots, and Brady scoffed at it. He said, "Oh yeah,
we're only going to score 17 points."
That's Brady, and
okay.
I don't think do you really think that's going to be any different? He is going to say that it's a opinionated report, it's a private report. I'm not aware of any of those things. People would say, "Oh, he didn't cooperate with the Wells investigation. He didn't hand over his cell phone." I wouldn't hand over my cell phone either if I was Tom Brady. What do you think I'm going to give that to a bunch of jokes? I'm sure that won't leak out or anything. My phone number, possible things on my phone. Are you law enforcement? I don't need to give this to you. It's like the Mitchell report. If you don't cooperate, you look bad, but it's not against the law, and it's probably in your best intentions not to cooperate. So, interesting that the Wells report is finally out, and again, I'm going on record that Tom Brady will not be suspended one game, and I wouldn't be shocked, although I think something will have to happen to the Patriots. Belichick was cleared in this, which is complete horseshit. That guy seems like a complete egomaniac, control freak, that I think he would know that his quarterback, who has got him all these Super Bowl rings, would like the football a certain density to the ball. I'm sure he's probably aware of what's going on. Let's get to why before this whole thing came out, who knew that these teams had their own different balls? Why didn't they just have one damn ball? It's just stupid. You just open yourself up for this stuff. I don't know. The Madison Square Garden welcomed back Isiah Thomas, former head coach of the New York Knicks, I forget his actual position with the team, some sort of front office gig. Last time he was with the Knicks, he was involved in a sexual harassment lawsuit, which the Madison Square Garden had to pay out $11.6, I believe, $11.6 or $11.3 million to Anuka Brown Sanders. Isiah being part of that, but Isiah is now not back with the Knicks, but with the New York Liberty, if you haven't heard of the WNBA, a women's basketball team. Defies complete logic, but the owner there, James Dolan, is a perfect example of logic not making any sense. We all know this. We know this. They released a statement in regards to Isiah coming back. We did not believe the allegations then, and we don't believe them now. We feel strongly that the jury improperly, unfairly held Isiah Thomas responsible for sordid allegations that were completely unrelated to him and for which MSG bore responsibility. In fact, when given the opportunity, the jury did not find Isiah liable for punitive damages, confirming he did not act maliciously or in bad faith. We believe Isiah belongs in basketball and are grateful that he has committed his considerable talent to help the Liberty succeed. Sounds very patriotic, to help the Liberty succeed. Dun, 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 dun. Same guy who was accused of calling Anuka Brown Sanders a bitch and a hoe. He is now the president of a women's team and has a ownership stake in the team. I don't understand what James Dolan, the owner of Madison Square Garden, that being the Knicks and the Rangers, he has this obsession with Zeke, Isiah Thomas's nickname. I don't get it. He must have some sort of disgustingly embarrassing photos of Jim Dolan. To be in bed with this man again. No pun. Well, there was no. Moving on. It was a joke that went nowhere. But why? Sorry about the licking of the lips and the hitting. I'm all over the place here. Isiah Thomas back in Madison Square Garden is not good for anybody. I remember I saw Isiah Thomas. Yes, yeah. It was a preseason game at Mohegan Sun against the Boston Celtics, and we were harassing the Knicks so bad. We were reading all their stats to him. This is a preseason game. We were all loaded. It was fun though, and I was yelling at Jalen Rose, and we were right along there. I mean, we were real obnoxious early 20s along the sides where they come in the locker room entrance there, and Isiah Thomas is walking by and he's looking at us, and Isaiah's probably like 2 feet from me. And I wanted to rip him, but, Isiah Thomas he's an amazing basketball player, was an amazing basketball player, and I had to take a step back. I had a full shot to say something really great right in his face, and we would have been locking eyes. These are the kind of things I valued back then. And I didn't do it. I just said, man, you're Isiah Thomas. And I thought about that game in the finals against the Lakers. That dude scoring like 25 points in the fourth quarter with a bum ankle. Just guts, man. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. Well, Brian, move on. Jesus. You have to wonder what James Dolan's thinking. Why would you want that? And WNBA actually has to approve this. They have to approve him being an owner. And you'd have to think, why would they? This is a man accused of sexually assaulting a woman. Excuse me, harassing. Strike that. Not assaulting. My God. I don't know what goes on. What was that boardroom meeting like when Dolan said, how about Isiah? And everyone said, what will the papers say? Do you think this is a good idea? They'll say, it's another brilliant move by James Dolan. That's what they'll say. Dolan reminds me of, like, Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. He's not as old, but he's mega rich. Doesn't seem to care. You know, I think Burns cared more about his public image than James Dolan. I don't think Dolan gives a shit. I think he'd like to be loved. He'd like to have adoration from people. But I don't think he cares. He just cares about playing his kazoo with JD in the straight shot. JD in the straight shot, his band. James Dolan's James Dolan. Profound statement from Brian Buckley, Red Ticket Blues, 5/6/2015. And the final topic, I told you this is going to be a short podcast today. So I'm sorry. You're going to have to deal with it. I'm tired. I spent a long time in the supermarket today. Supermarket it's just an awful place. It's just complete anarchy. There's no order to anything. And you have everyone doing certain things. It's just sitting there ripping the cart today. Walking with it. And you got one person coming from an aisle. You got the guy in a suit and tie just getting out of work. He is very impatient. Needs to get somewhere. And then you have the older woman coming towards you. She's sort of just going at her own pace. And then you have another woman coming from the other area. She's on her cell phone, thinking she's in her living room, walking ever so slowly, talking. It's just, there's too many people. Like, I can go to a baseball game. I can go to a sporting event because there's a assigned seat where you will go. You will sit there and you will enjoy it. Well, you don't have to enjoy it. That's not part of it. Especially if you're a Mets fan. Oh! They still have a good record. I'm just screwing with you. But there's no order. I feel like sometimes I'm about to have an anxiety attack at the supermarket. But not today. No anxiety attack, so that's good. That's a positive. Very, very good. People texting me here. What do we say? CC isn't throwing well. His arm is shot. Yeah, well, it is what it is. What can I say? But the final topic I want to talk about today was LeSean McCoy, who has been traded, as I said earlier, who was traded in the offseason to the Buffalo Bills. And Chip Kelly, who is, speaking of egomaniacs, we've talked a lot about egomaniacs today. The Philadelphia, who are they? The Eagles. There we go. The head coach there is very unique. He has a lot of different ideas. He's still in the beginning stages of his coaching career with the Eagles, so we'll see what he can actually do. But he traded probably I guess you'd call him the franchise player. He got rid of Deshaun Jackson a year ago, which was probably a good move. But he was asked by he was talking to an ESPN, Mike Rodek, and he says, you told the Philadelphia Inquirer in April that Chip Kelly doesn't like or respect stars. How did that relationship end? And LeSean said, the relationship was never really great. I feel like I always respected him as a coach. I think that's the way he runs his team. He wants the full control. You see how fast he got rid of all the good players, especially all the good black players. He got rid of them the fastest. That's the truth. There's a reason. It's hard to explain with him, but there's a reason he got rid of all the black players, the good ones like that. Now, first of all, like I said, I think LeSean McCoy is just pissed off that he was traded. He's still 26 years old. His numbers went down last year, still respectable, though. I think he still rushed for 1,300 yards. I believe that's correct. You know what's great? Believing stuff and not actually saying it, so I don't have to take accountability. That's the way we do it on this podcast. By the way, you can follow me at BrianBuck13, and you can hear beliefs all the time. But this is what I say. First, I'll address the Eagles situation itself. Now, he basically replaced DeMarco Murray. He replaced LeSean McCoy with DeMarco Murray, another black running back. And, well, let me go on to say this here, too. How many other people, he was asked after he made these statements about Chip Kelly, how many other players have shared this thought with you? And LeSean goes on to say, Oh, man. People have heard it. I mean, Stephen A. Smith has talked about it. Right there. That is the first person you want to back up. ESPN Stephen A. Smith, who is a fool. He is not a real analyst. He is created by ESPN to incite things. He is on the show First Take with Skip Bayless. It is a fake show known as First Fake. And if you take that show seriously and follow it and watch it, I have zero respect for you. There's a reason it's on in the middle of the day, too. Because the people that watch that show and live by it and think it's a great show don't have a job, and there's a reason they don't have a job. Because they're idiots. If you believe the garbage that's put on that station during that show. Stephen A. Smith loves the race angle. He completely loves the race angle. Many times, I think he's completely off base. But to use him, and not actual examples, he's the first one. I mean, LeSean, really? He goes on to say other players have talked about it, but that's one of the things where you don't even care anymore. I'm on a new team, ready to play, so it's nothing to do with Chip. I have no hatred toward him, nothing to say negative about him. When he got to Philadelphia, I didn't know what to expect. When he let Deshaun go last year, I was like, come on, Deshaun Jackson? So it is what it is. Now, if you know anything about Deshaun Jackson, he seems to be... I don't think he actually caused any problems with the Redskins, but he is a diva of all divas. He is someone who does not respect his teammates. He is someone who is always causing a problem with the chemistry of the team. So I think probably most people on the Eagles, outside of a few players, were happy to see Deshaun Jackson leave. Tremendous player. But give me a break. Enough of Deshaun Jackson. Now, I'm looking at here something that the Philly Voice shows. Now, this is completely just generalizing with me here. They're showing players lost and players added for this year. And that counts as re-signed. And, I mean, I'm just looking at faces. There aren't even names here. But I'm looking, and it looks, it's a lot of black guys that they added here. I don't know all of these guys on here. They also lost a lot of black guys. But let's be honest here. An NFL team is a large amount of people. And an NFL team... Oh, okay, actually, instead of me just looking at faces and trying to decipher if someone's black or not, let's see here. Black players added, 8. Black players lost, 7. White players added, 3. White players lost, 4. It is also perhaps noteworthy that 5 of the 6 players the Eagles drafted in Kelly's first offseason with full control were black. So, I think LeSean McCoy, like I said, is just having a problem that he wasn't wanted anymore. And the other thing I wanted to just a piggyback up off that. So we'll leave the podcast, and I thought it was going to be a short podcast. I'm already at close to 23 minutes here. But I wanted to quickly talk. I posed this question on Twitter today. Can a successful, let's say someone is really a racist, can that person be a successful coach in the sport of basketball or football? Now, I don't include baseball and hockey because hockey is possibly white. Now, okay, now I didn't do this with my tweet either. Is it possible for a white coach to be racist toward black players and be successful in the sport of basketball or football? Now, I didn't include baseball and hockey because hockey there's barely any black players, so it's sort of a moot point. Baseball, it's a small amount, but I could actually see some racist coaches there, as there's less black players, and there's still that antiquity involved with baseball, that good old boy routine that you still feel. The game has evolved so much from the days of the 20s and 30s or 40s with Jackie Robinson coming in and just being harassed with every racial epithet you could possibly imagine, but you still get that feeling that there's a little bit involved in it. But in basketball and baseball, basketball and football, where the players are predominant, the population is predominantly black in both those sports, can a successful white coach be a racist? Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't read people's minds. Is it possible? I guess anything is possible in life. Do I think it is likely? No. I think for you to be a successful coach, I think you have to have a personal relationship with your players. And I think in this day and age, especially with all sorts of technology, and if somebody has an idea, it's floated out there. You've never even heard the idea that Chip Kelly is a racist. So you feel like that sort of information would be available to everyone. I think unsuccessful coaches can be racist. This is just my opinion. That doesn't mean I'm right. But I will give you another opinion of mine, and really ending the podcast on some strong social issues here when I say I don't think we talk about race enough in this country. Now, there have been a lot of race-fueled debates the past few years, many of them having to do with police brutality, with white cops involved, with black, they say suspects, but in many cases became victims. I don't think we talk about race enough in this country. I think that we let it we hold it in, and then we let it boil over. This is me, the great uniter. I think we need to talk about it more. Look to the cookie, Elaine. Look to the cookie.
If people would only look to the cookie,
Brian Buck.
all our problems would be solved.
I think a lot of people stay away from it, and when I say a lot of people, mainly white people, don't want to get involved in race things. They want to stay away. They don't want to be accused of being a bigot. But I think it's important for people to hear each other talk, to be on the same page. So when something like a Freddie Gray situation comes about, or some other situation, or now I hate to say that these situations have to do with a black person being killed, but how about when these situations don't even arise? I think there needs to be more communication. That's just my thought. I don't know. I enjoy talking about this. Maybe enjoy is the wrong word, but I think it's important. Like I said, I think people are quiet too long, or they hide behind computer screens and say things, and they give certain black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, whatever. I think then, especially with social media, the media likes to grab onto a few comments that are made about somebody. Like the whole world was against Richard Sherman because he was black because of a few comments on Twitter, when that doesn't represent the majority of the population. I mean, if you go on Twitter, you could probably basically decide every ethnic and religious group are terrible and they're awful. I mean, you can make that argument 7 days a week if you want to. So, well, that's the end of the podcast. Again, ending on a very deep note. I hope you learned a lot today. Just my opinions. Tom Brady will not be suspended. You heard it here first. Heard it here, May 6th, 2015. Brian, don't make predictions. I just made one. Don't care. You can follow me at BrianBuck13, and you can listen to the show on iTunes, YouTube, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, anywhere else where great podcasts are found. You could go right to redticketblues.com, trying to write more articles too. If you haven't noticed, you're on notice. That was good. That was terrible. All right, everyone. I'll be at the Yankee game tomorrow. See if you can see me. I'll be the one wearing a Yankee hat. So if you see me, definitely put it on Twitter. Send it to me. All right, everyone. Have a great day. I'm out of here.